Help for a life without tobacco.
Is your body trying to tell you something? Discover the real meaning of diet. A new series of Diet Doctors Inside and Out starts 8 o'clock tomorrow on 5.
Norma and her sons Martin and Cameron are leaving Glasgow to fly to Barra, an island in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland, where Cameron believes that he lived in a previous life. They are being accompanied by psychiatrist Dr. Jim Tucker, an expert in children's past life memories. Cameron believes that his family name was Robertson and that he lived in a big white house, a house full of children. He says he had a black and white dog. There was a view from the house to the sea, and that they could see planes land, not on a runway, but on the beach. Could any of these apparent memories correspond to reality?
You know, there's a concern that if he really is having memories of a previous life, that taking him back to that place might be traumatic. But what usually is the case is actually the reverse, that seeing the old place kind of puts the memories in perspective so that the child is then able to let go of them more.
The planes must have landed on the beach.
Yeah, good boy. It's just after saying I told you it was all true. Feel happy to be here?
Yeah. It looks nice here. Looks nice here.
They go into the airport to collect their bags.
Quite faint with that one. He was saying he used to go over that bit over there, and when they used to see the rainbows, they used to try and jump up and get them. They're too high, aren't they?
Well, we're certainly off to a good start. I mean, he feels that he recognizes the place. He said to his brother, I told you it was true, and he's very excited about being here.
Mummy, I must have always come down to this bit and I must have cleared the beach.
Did you? You'll be able to show me, won't you?
Very exciting. If we can verify his statements, it'll be a great case. Looks like a place that doesn't change too rapidly, so hopefully he'll be able to recognize some things.
Feel happy to be back.
Feel happy to be back, do you? You look happy to be back.
Leaving the airport, they board the bus to drive to the hotel, and they get their first look at the island.
Mummy, well, you might see my house on the way.
I know, we're trying to see if we can see it.
You know what? I know the person who lives there, but...
You know the person that lived there?
But I can't remember. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Mummy, it's hard to get to that bit.
Is it hard to get out?
Because then you'd have to try and swim back. Mummy, I recognize every single bit.
Cameron, don't jump about the bed. Can you believe you're here at Barra?
Yes. I'm not exactly the same, but recognise the beach.
You recognise the beach? Oh, it looks like a beautiful place, doesn't
Yes,
it?
yes, yes.
So what do you want to do tomorrow when we
And go to the beach.
go down to the beach?
Yes, and I'll show you, and I'll show you what I did.
Show me what you used to do.
Oh, my socks, I forgot to do it. In my socks.
Next morning, the investigation begins in earnest. Norma and Jim set off to visit the local heritage centre to look for any record of the Robertson family and the man that Cameron calls his Barra dad.
My brother dad was called Shane Robertson, and he got knocked down.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Norma, pleased to meet you.
Callum McNeil is the island's local historian.
Callum McNeil. Very
Nice to meet you.
Certainly the names don't immediately come to my mind. Certainly the name Robertson does feature, but certainly not the name Shane. And the name Robertson itself only features occasionally in the history of the islands.
There doesn't seem to be any evidence that a family called Robertson lived in a house by the shore. Could Cameron be wrong about the name, but right about the house?
I could see the beach when I looked out the window, and sometimes my brothers and sisters could go by themselves, and I looked out my window, see the planes land on the beach. And my brother had a black bonnet, and how you dial is you just go like that.
He has provided some clues about the location and the period in which he says he lived on the island.
Since he's talked about the planes landing and talked about phones, what sort of era would that put him in?
More than likely after the war.
After the
More than likely after the war.
And since he's talked about the plane landing and seeing that, we're probably thinking of a family toward the north end.
Oh, yes, I would say so. If the to and froing of aircraft from the beaches featuring highly, that would indicate the north end of the island.
It's not much to go on, but they set out on a trail back to the north end of the island.
I thought he was fine, but I don't know about him. I was starting to feel anxious and saying, well, I hope he does recognise something for his sake and probably for my own, because I'm desperately looking for answers as well.
Well, I think it's disappointing if a child goes to a place and doesn't recognize things. Often what happens is that by the time the child gets taken to the previous place, they're beginning to lose the memories anyway. Children seem to lose these memories by the age of 6 or 7. And this is the age where children are starting school and getting more fully wrapped up in this life.
They have driven past many of the houses on the island, most of them white, some near the sea. But Cameron recognizes none of them.
Sometimes I say I wish I could get in his head just for 5 minutes to see what it feels like to him, because obviously to him it's real.
My dad and mum had long hair and she got cut short.
Later that day, they go for a walk on the beach. The adults may be disappointed, but Cameron is happy just being on the island.
He's delirious about being here, and at one point he actually said to me, is my face shiny? Is it red? Is it shiny? I'm just so happy. He keeps saying to Martin, see, I told you, it's not lies, it's true, we're really here, it's real.
Apart from the planes that land on the beach, there has been no other link between Cameron's memory and the island.
I actually spoke to him this morning and saying to him that if he doesn't remember things, it's okay to say he doesn't remember, because I'm worried that he feels pressured into saying things. And he's saying, no, I won't, I'll tell you, Mummy.
There is no white house above rock pools with a view of the beach where the planes land. No black and white dog. No family Robertson. They return to the hotel. The trail has gone cold. But next morning, they receive a phone call from Callum McNeil at the Heritage Centre. He wants to speak to them urgently. He has some new information.
Phone call today informed me that there were people living with the name Robertson on the north end of the island, in a house by the shore. It's a white house by the shore. Couldn't get much closer to the shore.
Callum's records were only for properties owned by islanders, but the Robertsons were from the mainland.
And when were they there?
60s, 70s, I believe.
Yeah. So we know exactly which house it was. We'd be able to go see it.
Sunderland.
Directions to the house take them down a different road to the ones they had been searching before. Jim and Norma don't tell Cameron where they're going. They don't want to influence his reaction or disappoint him. They follow a small coastal track. The house comes into view as they turn the final corner.
What's wrong? A wee bit. You alright? Is this your house? No, you get sad. Is this your house? Yeah? It's okay.
What's wrong?
You're getting a wee bit upset.
Huh?
It's okay. Does it make you feel a wee bit sad?
The usually chatty Cameron has become strangely subdued. Just below the house, there are rock pools, and there is a gate to the beach.
There's a gate round there. They said that was the secret way. They called it the secret way onto the house. He's just saying he's excited, but he's sad as well. I think he's surprised and he's not sure how he's feeling. I'm not sure how I'm feeling either, to be honest. Can we come in? We've got a fire like that, haven't we?
Let me look.
What?
Look.
I know, wow. You okay?
Although much of the furniture and decor is recent, some of the features of the house, like the open fire, have remained unchanged for decades.
I could see the beach when I looked out the window, and sometimes my brothers and sisters could go crawl by themselves, and I looked out my window and I saw them playing.
The girls were in this room
Yes,
and the boys were in the other room.
yes. Oh, was it the same stuff?
No. Did you just have the fire lit?
Are you glad you came here to see it?
Did you think your Barra mum was going to still be here? Eh? No. Do you miss her? You got me, haven't you?
You about ready to go back home now? Yeah, get on the plane and fly home. Well, it's been quite an interesting trip. I mean, we came here with a name and a description of a house, which was not very much to go on. And we found that, in fact, there was a family here, and that, in fact, they had a house in the right location and the right appearance of what we were looking for. At this point, the investigation remains inconclusive, but we've got some very solid leads to go on, and we should be able to find out the details of this Robertson family to see if, in fact, they do match with what Cameron has been saying.
Back in Glasgow, Norma has arranged a meeting with Ruth Borum, a genealogist who has investigated the Robertson family history for her. She has found that the Robertsons came from Glasgow and that they owned the house on Barra for more than 20 years. She has traced a Gilly Robertson, who still lives in Scotland.
But you don't know when and you don't know the surname. And I've been able to find a phone number and an address for Gillian and her husband.
Gilly Robertson would have been a child holidaying in the house on Barra at the same time as Cameron believes that he lived there.
I can pass that on to you, and
So would we be allowed to contact him?
her address and phone number is in the BT phone book, so it's public knowledge. So that would certainly be a possibility. And she fits with the right sort of age.
Yes,
she had two brothers and a daughter.
Wow.
Norma now has a name and telephone number for a living member of the Robertson family. The search for answers is nearing its conclusion.
I'm on the rocky road, heading down off the mountain slope. And as my steps echo, echo, louder than before. And hey, hey, hey,
Nothing should come between you and your friends. 12p per minute to any network with everyone pay as you go. T-Mobile, simply closer.
My top tip when it comes to a bargain, buy quality. McDonald's Bacon Cheeseburger, only 99p. The Junior Chicken Mayo, only 99p. And the Double Cheeseburger, only £1.19. McDonald's Pound Saver menu, a real investment in pleasure.
The DVLA computer knows if you've renewed your car tax, and it knows if you haven't. If you've not paid or declared your vehicle as off the road, it will automatically issue you with an £80 penalty. There's no escape. Pay your car tax.
Who says a beautiful tan has to end with summer?
Yesterday my life was filled with rain. Sunny, you smile.
Dove moisturizers and a hint of self-tanning agents are perfectly combined in Dove Summer Glow Body Lotion, leaving your skin beautifully tanned all year round. Prolong your tan, prolong your summer with Dove Summer Glow Body Lotion, recommended by Elle.
Sister, your hair's so frizzy it needs a straitjacket. And stop all the petting. Your hair's not a cat. Green for frizzy hair. Control it with Sunsilk's Waves and Curls Leave-In Cream. Get yourself some Therapy.
3 weddings, 1 winner.
I'm going to be your sister-in-law. Have you thought about that?
Jesus, every night. Hundreds of reasons to stay single. Confetti on DVD now.
Chips, glorious chips. Just how do they do it? Spun sunflower oil. There's nothing else to it.
These beauties are washed and peeled, yes, and then we show them. We splash them with sunflower oil, then you munch them. Chips, glorious chips. How much do we love them? Try reading our lips. There's nothing above them. Just wait till you hear the news. Writ large on the pack. How's that? 5% fat, 5% fat, 5% fat, 5% fat. 5% fat.
Only Frontline Spot On provides long-lasting protection for both cats and dogs against fleas and ticks. Frontline Spot On, the gesture of love you can trust.
This is the house that 5-year-old Cameron believes was his home in a past life. He believes that he lived here with his family, the Robertsons. The house, which exactly fits Cameron's description, was once actually owned by a Robertson family who spent their summers here in the 60s and 70s. Cameron's mum, Norma, has traced Jilly, one of the Robertsons, and arranged to visit her. But now, back in Glasgow, Cameron's reaction to the news comes as a shock.
Last night was just an outburst. 1 minute we're laughing and joking, everything was fine, and then it was just, there was tears, and then saying he was frightened, and then the next thing him and Martin were fighting. It got a wee bit out of hand. It was like somebody had flicked a switch. He went from happy to, and it was, I'm scared, I don't want to go, Mum. But this morning he came in quite wide awake and started asking me about Jilly Robertson. And at one point I thought it was quite strange. He actually says, could Jilly be my sister if she was a wee girl at the house? And it's kind of, I think we've all been thrown a bit. Now he's asking, can he go? He wants to go and meet her. Hello. Hi there. Pleased to meet you, I'm Norma. Hello, Julie. Very nice to meet you. This is Cameron. Martin, come on. This is Cameron's big brother, Martin. He's finding somebody that's possibly his sister. Is he thinking, oh, maybe I'll need to go back to that family? Because in Cameron's mind, the Robertsons were his Barra family. And I think that's what's frightened him. I mean, it's quite frightening.
This is the house here, and down below the house, a lovely beach.
Was that what it was like when you were in Barra?
Yeah. But could you recognise it quite well when you went to see it?
Although he was saying it had changed.
Yes, you see, I think it has changed. I think the person who's bought it now has modernised it.
Yeah.
I played in the beach and took my dog and played fetch with my dog at the beach.
Could I ask you, when you went to Barra, did you have a dog? Was there a dog there?
Well, certainly Callum and Peggy, who lived in the house, they had a dog, a sheepdog.
Yeah.
The black and white dog is just as Cameron remembers. But what about the name of his Barra father, Shane Robertson?
Yeah. Well, certainly there aren't any Shanes in our family. There were, one of my uncles was called James. Yeah. Now, Seamus, James, you know, that's quite a common connection. Yeah, one of my cousins is also called James, but certainly not a Shane. Was the car accident on Barra?
This is what we don't know. He doesn't seem to be able to tell you.
I don't know of anyone in our family who died in a car accident.
That's how I was curious as well, if maybe even there had been a child in the family had passed away, or...
No, certainly there were no deaths of children in that close family.
So while many parts of Cameron's memory fit with extraordinary precision, others do not. The family name matches, so do the physical details of the house, the island and the dog. But the name and death of the father figure do not.
First I thought, I'm going to be disappointed if it doesn't make sense. And then there's a part of me, I think it would have been too freaky if everything was 100%. A lot of the things tie in and match up, seem to match up perfectly, where there's other things just don't fit in at all. But I look at it as, if I'm describing my past or trying to tell you things, there's things I would probably remember and tell you spot on, and there's other things, if my sister was telling the same story, it would be different. I just think there's been more things tied in than didn't.
If these, in fact, were past life memories, then we have to look at the question of why some of them were correct and some weren't. Was this just a remarkable coincidence, or could it be something more? He could have had memories from more than one life, and they could have gotten mixed in together. There's just a lot that we don't know about it.
And I don't think I realised myself how much it might affect me going into the house. I mean, for a split, it actually felt as if I could be physically sick. It was, I don't know, and then there was the worry, what if all these memories come flooding back to Cameron and upset him? And then also I was thinking, what if he has had another mum?
He certainly responded to the house in a way that made it seem that this was a special place for him. He may have had some memories and emotions that somehow existed on this island beforehand in another life and then somehow carried over to him.
I personally think there's more to it than meets the eye, but there is some people, and everybody's allowed to make their own judgment, but I definitely think it's one of those things, there's something there. I can't tell you what exactly it is, but I think it's something we'll probably never know.
In the end, there are no tidy answers. But one thing is clear, the persistent memories that Cameron once had of another life on a far-off island trouble him no longer.
I think that since Cameron's been to Barra and the fact that we've seen it for ourselves, it's as if it's put it to rest in his mind that he doesn't have to go on and prove it anymore. And he just seems so calm about it. Before it was, everything was hyper and jumping about, and where it's like, yes, I was at Barra, I seen my house. It's just so calm now, it's quite unbelievable the change.
And the new series of Extraordinary People continues next week with Derek, who can't see and has the IQ of a 4-year-old, but when he sits at a piano, he becomes a musical genius. That's next Monday at 9. Next tonight, Guys and Dolls.
For some people, finding the perfect partner is difficult. For others, it's almost impossible.
Most people that say that they wouldn't ever have sex with a doll actually would.
Guys and Dolls. Next on 5.
The planet is in a delicate balance. For every clever thing that happens, something really dumb happens elsewhere. At 8:04, a man receives his mint card. He gets 0% interest on balance transfers and on purchases until July 2007. This is really clever. And at exactly the same time... Oh, the clever dumb balance is restored. Oh, clever mint.
You will be safer with me, okay? Don't worry. Idiota! Idiota! Bueno, bro.
There are some things you just don't want to see. And some things you do. Like the delicious subs at Subway. You know they're fresh because you see them made right in front of you, on bread that's baked fresh throughout the day.
Either this one doesn't know that I'm here, or it's just completely comfortable and just doesn't care.
island in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland where Cameron believes that he lived in a previous life.
Not put my bag on. No, that's the one.
They are being accompanied by psychiatrist Dr. Jim Tucker, an expert in children's past life memories. Cameron believes that his family name was Robertson and that he lived in a big white house, a house full of children. He says he had a black and white dog. There was a view from the house to the sea, and that they could see planes land, not on a runway, but on the beach. Could any of these apparent memories correspond to reality?
You know, there's a concern that if he really is having memories of a previous life, that taking him back to that place might be traumatic. But what usually is the case is actually the reverse, that seeing the old place kind of puts the memories in perspective so that the child is then able to let go of them more.
The planes must have landed on the beach. I told you it was true.
You recognise it? Yeah?
Help for a life without tobacco.
Is your body trying to tell you something? Discover the real meaning of diet. A new series of Diet Doctors Inside and Out starts 8 o'clock tomorrow on 5.
Norma and her sons Martin and Cameron are leaving Glasgow to fly to Barra.
There, and when they used to see the rainbows, they used to try and jump up and get them. They're too high, aren't they?
Well, we're certainly off to a good start. I mean, he feels that he recognizes the place. He said to his brother, I told you it was true, and he's very excited about being here.
Lovely. I must have always come down to this bit and I must have up to the beach.
Did you? You'll be able to show me, won't you?
Very exciting. If we can verify his statements, it'll be a great case. Looks like a place that doesn't change too rapidly, so hopefully he'll be able to recognize some things.
Feel happy to be back.
Feel happy to be back, do you? Yep. You okay? Yeah, good boy. It's just after saying I told you it was all true. Feel happy to be here?
Yeah. It looks nice here. Looks nice here.
They go into the airport to collect their bags.
I know that. Quite faint with that one. He was saying he used to go over that bit over